you today, girl?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So I wanted to kind of jump right on in and ask you where you feel. Oh, we're live on YouTube. Okay, there we go. So I kind of wanted to ask you and see where your head was at because I feel like this month has been a month for self reflection. And honestly, I've been thinking about self reflecting in a sense of where I'm at with self doubt. How do you find you navigate that space? I kind of want to start with that question first.
I feel like it's an everyday kind of battle, honestly. Like, some days it's kind of like you feel like you're the baddest one, or you can do everything, and other than that, I feel very much like I can't do a lot of things, or did I really choose the right path in my career, or just questioning a lot of things.
Hmm. So it's like something that you feel you have to navigate daily.
Definitely, I'm
Yeah,
honest with
yeah.
where my mental state is on the regular. Yeah.
Hmm. I think we're having a little bit of a lag. I don't know if it's on my end. It might be. Hold on one second. Let me just
See, hold on.
check
Trying to,
this second.
how
How is
about
it
now?
now?
Because I think I wasn't on my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. You good? Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
is
hear
it
you
better?
now.
Okay.
Perfect, perfect. So I guess I want to highlight some of your attributes because number one, I can't even imagine seeing that self doubt would even be in your mind frame, and it's so interesting to talk to different people about what they go through because you just never know what people are going through. You know what I mean? And somebody who's been on so many different shows, you have a new show coming out this month that you're going to be on the American Horror Story.
Yes, yes. Season.
How was that process?
Um, I mean, it was pretty cool. Like, I was for a little bit over the summer, and I had went to work on this film, and I ended up like booking American Horror Story and then FBI, just to have those opportunities. But it's crazy, as you're an actor, so ebb and flows of the career. Like, some years it's we're booking constantly. Other years is very, very slow. And before this year,
Hmm.
I would say my last television booking was in 2019. I would say. So it
Okay.
was like that 2 year. I know the work was still there, and it wasn't. It was a struggle trying to live and keep working during those times. But obviously, very grateful for the turnaround this year. Calling for it to come more and more, for sure.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I know it's Scorpio season. Your birthday's coming up. When's your birthday?
It is uh,
Huh?
November 6th.
Oh my gosh, it passed.
No, November
How
6th.
did I miss
November.
you? Oh, November 6th. Okay. I'm like
Yeah, yeah.
saying it's Scorpio season, but I had it my months mixed.
No,
That's
coming
dope.
up, coming up.
That's awesome. How will you be celebrating this year?
This is the first year I want to be alone. I'm thinking about maybe taking myself to dinner, spa day, or something like that. Just my birthday is just very reflective for me because I'm always reflecting on life, and like, just some things that I want to do for the coming year. So I think I've been really in, it's eclipse season right now, so it's just like a lot of emotions, a lot going on. Yeah, I think that I just want to like spend some time alone and really just be intentional next year in my life to go and try to be in control of the things that I can control, and things continue to work on letting those things go. That's my opinion for sure.
Nice. So, what do you feel like? You mentioned something very important about just the inner work that we all do. So, how do you feel self care comes into your space? Like, how do you on a daily basis include self care in your regimen?
I think that that's another thing that I know that's like I like to refer to as like a toolbox that I try to keep in my toolbox where if I am having these hard days to like, so even if it is a spa day or like, maybe doing an at home facial or, those things. Sometimes I'm so kind of like in my own head, to be honest, but I know that at the end of doing them, working out, journaling, those to feel a little better on the other side of it. So I would say those are some of the things that I add to my trying to, make myself feel better. I listen to a lot of people on YouTube, so like
Okay.
podcasts, stuff like that. Just try to like work on the mindset. Our mind, our mind can be all over the place, but try to control that. That's the one thing we all over. And I know it's an everyday process, but I do try. But I think it's always having good people around me as well, like my best friends or around that really just pour into me, even when I don't want to pour into myself. Like that's those words of affirmation or those reminders of the get in the midst of whatever life and allow it to just take over. But that seems to help from my experience anyway.
No, absolutely. I think for me, self care is imperative to just breathing because I noticed along my mental health journey that I do stomach gripping. Have you heard of that?
What's that?
So stomach gripping it's a trauma response that I do to kind of protect myself. So basically, instead of breathing in and out um, regularly and feeling like I'm taking a full deep breath, I kind of hold my stomach tight.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that a long time ago, and I just realized, like, for me, meditation has to be incorporated in my self care routine. Have you ever meditated before?
I I would like to for it to be. I understand what you're saying as far as it needs to and has to be a part because it's when I'm not doing it. But that breathing, that intentional breathing, it definitely helps.
Yeah. What practices? I know I started this channel as an actor's kind of like place to feel safe and just create and things like that. And I know you're always creating. So, what is your creative process? If you can like verbalize that, like from like how do you
Um, I,
start a project, like in acting wise?
um, I guess it varies. Like more the work that I've been doing, it's been very kind of surface level, so I don't feel like it kind of creative that I know that's inside of me. So my poetry seems to be something that I started and also for expression. But I think that's because I just really enjoy diving into new characters and like seeing what their struggles, their journeys. So that kind of takes away from like my life. I can put myself aside who they are. I really enjoy learning. Like I love acting class or going to learn more about my instrument and like how to explore that. It's
Right.
ever we're always growing, we're always but I really enjoy also like working on indie projects because I feel like those are like the times where character and really kind of see what the outcome of that. Maybe theater is like, I really want to get back on the stage. I feel like that's another space for therapy and artistic just energy that I need on the regular as being a creative. But I have found it's been a really good space for me to just let go and open up and heal myself, but also realizing how much some of the words that I put on paper or allow other people to look into themselves in ways that I didn't even think was possible. But then to see the connection and like, oh, I'm not the only one who may feel this way, or remember the words. That kind of feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Were you when you were younger, did you also get into poetry, and like when exactly was the moment you were like, acting is what I want to do?
Um, when I was younger, I used to go see a lot of shows. My mom used to take me to see a lot of plays and stuff like that, and I felt like I was the type of child that really expressed myself, or like
Okay.
saying just a lot of things. And in high school, kind of tap into some theater, like just a little bit, like drama club and reading plays, and I thought it was pretty cool. I think I was telling you this, but I went to go see this play about the Los College back, and I was just really inspired by the artists on stage, because I feel like they left it really all of that emotion, and I don't know what their process was and how they got there, but it just felt so this need, and I just felt like I need to do that. I need to be doing that therapy, and I didn't realize that it would be something I would be doing as a career later on, but it
Right.
was just kind of into like really truly expressing full self. Um, yeah, it's honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, we definitely have that in common. Platinum and collard greens. I starred in that show a long time ago when I first broke into acting, and that was the first show that made me feel like being empowered as a black woman, and just all the characters, quirks, and all that stuff. So that was great. And I wish I would have got to see you in it, girl. That would have been crazy.
I know, I know, right? I was like, wow, that's so cool. That's really a play that I wish I'd been a part of, like to be on the
Mm-hmm.
stage. I can only imagine what that's like as the actor, like experience, like audience member. It spoke, so much to me that I was like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, definitely. What do you feel like is an inner struggle that you want to overcome when it comes to acting? There's many steps. Like we get to we get all the education that we have, because you're very well rounded. You went to AMDA, so you know a lot about just how the process of like breaking down a script, things like that. And have you ever thought about doing your own short film or projects of your own?
Yeah, I think that's probably naturally the next step in some kind of way. But when it comes to that, I think like I've relied heavily in these last, I guess, like years of acting professionally, of relying so much on like other people's words, or like to get these opportunities. But I know that it's something in here to say. It was my poetry book. I did self-publish a poetry book last year. Now that my first attempt at like world. Um, I think it definitely is like some self-doubt, like and trying to understand that, okay, there's a space for everybody, no matter if I believe it or not. Like I said, that poetry book was the first entrance to that. Like, oh wow, these words were for me, but you know, getting out of my own way and trying to write something would hurt me really. When it's gonna happen or not, but I do feel like it's something as an artist that I know that I should. I just don't know. There is a block there though. I don't know, but
Well, there's not a block when you get on set, because when we see the work, like Insecure, I watched that video this morning. I was like, yeah, that's my girl right there. Like she killed it. So it's not like you have trouble getting to character. It might be like other creative endeavors that you want to do that you're in your own head about, maybe.
absolutely. It's a little bit of fear there, when it comes to putting
Yeah.
sure that is very vulnerable. Yes, and it does allow for opinions from those, but I think it's like leaning on the fact that that isn't my work. So it is character versus like I wrote this. This is from my heart. It's my baby in a sense. Like people work as their babies in that way, and I don't know if I don't know if I'm ready. What that looks like on the other side, but I do
Mhm.
feel very strongly called to it. there's some blockages there that need to be broken down.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair because I think we all have a little bit of blockages when it comes to our creative process. I think, mine is with the acting world. I think it's opposite of you. I think for me, it's more so being afraid to being afraid to face multiple rejections all the, like every day, like because I'm honestly going through the job hunt right now, so that's been full time, trying to find the right fit. But I also realized that having a full time job is also hindering me from my goals because it's like I can't be creative as I'm in the same during the same hours that I have to be at a job. So I just think about all these things, and I wonder if I can overcome like just certain blockages that I have with in the acting world, just like, meeting the right people. I think that's super important because your tribe is your company. Who you keep your company is very important in this industry. And I've just been finding out that not everybody's who they say they are, and you will feel certain pulls, like, should I be doing this? Is this right for me? Not the acting part, but just like these people that I'm working with, projects, things like that. So I just, keep my head up, and I want to get back into it, start applying back on Actors Access again and getting back out there. It's just been so long. And I really want you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel because this is really, I really want to be an influencer as well. It's more than just, I feel like, social media like Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I really want to navigate my audience towards YouTube. So I think it's a broader audience there. So that's kind of like where my head is at with all that stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's you taking on your own platform. You get to make the rules on how you want to. I know you be creating a lot as well, and just, putting, you had the ideas, you're doing it, and shit. I mean, it's crazy because the way right there, like, you have the platform on whatever social media, YouTube, etc., for these talents, things like that. You already have the talent, so keep going with that, because
Thank you,
that
girl.
speaks volumes too. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, thank you.
honestly,
Because I think like we all are different,
yeah,
and that's what makes us unique. And I like that we all have a unique fingerprint in this industry.
yeah,
Because it's super, super important to be unique. I think, there's thousands and millions of people that want the same spot and the same roles that we are reaching for as well. So I definitely am grateful for every opportunity because you never know when your time will come. I think, you just never know. So you just got to keep pushing.
true. It's the
Yeah.
scary part, but it's also the cool part. I guess it's like, it's scary because
Mm-hmm.
you never know. It is. It has to be inevitable at this point. Like, you keep doing
You're
something,
putting
and
that work in.
yeah, exactly.
Because honestly, I feel like, if you're not hungry and you're not working, you're not going to be able to achieve the goals that you want if you're not hungry and constantly pushing towards that goal, because it's like an everyday thing. It's not just like, all right, I'm gonna just do this for a little while and then I'm gonna go to sleep. Like, no, it's like a 24/7. Like, I'm thinking about this constantly. My mind is not on anything else.
I know. I got you, girl. I get it. Running out the space in my head.
But do you think that's a gift and a curse though? Because like we're so focused on, I mean, of course focusing on your goals is really good, but I'm so focused sometimes that I get frustrated, overwhelmed, and then I procrastinate. That's my anxiety.
Yeah. Yes, me too, girl. And I think that just comes also too from like a perfectionist mindset in a way. Like, you just, that's already a step forward because you just like, okay, let me just do this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm speaking to myself too, but we have to like just do it, and that just seems so kind of like far
Yeah,
fetched.
so right, right,
But
exactly.
yeah, it is a gift and a curse. It has something that does make us serve and have these like strong passions and feelings about something. Don't even know what that is, and I don't necessarily want to be on the other spectrum. But then another, they're making their money. They ain't got to worry about a job search. They whatever that looks like. But reason. So it, It got to
It's
be.
yeah.
There's something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hold on one second. I have a question for you because
Okay.
I like to get deep. I'm not a surface kind of girl. I wish I was sometimes because it would just make things easier, you know. But I find that people like meat. They like juice. We like juice. We like water. Anyway, what do you believe no longer serves you in your creative process?
Mm, that is a deep question. Ooh. Um, I would say, I guess going this like validation outside of myself. I feel like it doesn't serve me.
Talk
We,
about it, sis.
yeah, like you mentioned, I've done X, Y, Z, whatever. Why am I still doubting myself in this way? Not the thing that's like, oh, you don't have the self doubt anymore. But in time and time again, you've shown, or you're good at this thing. So why are you doubting yourself so much that you for certain things, or you don't write the stuff that you should be writing, or whatever. Like I just feel like it doesn't serve me. I'm not really sure how to knock it out, but I know it doesn't. I know it's not. It's within this process, the creative process.
I know what you said, just do it. I think that's really the anecdote.
Yeah,
That might be the anecdote. Just
yeah,
start because we're
yeah.
worried about Joe Schmo and Bo, what they gonna say about my work. I had when I first dropped my film, I remember this one critic said something about it and was like, "Yeah, I didn't understand something, something, something." I was like, "Okay, well, I always take constructive criticism, but it felt empowering because I had already released it and it was
Mm-hmm,
released. Feel me?
mm-hmm.
So it's out of my
Yeah,
hands. It's for the world. It's for the streets.
yeah, yeah. That's
However
yeah,
you take it is on you. But this is my art, and I was brave enough to do this. You know what I mean?
right. And I mean, things that we look up to, or that we, God willingly one day want to work with, like they is just in their home and done the things that they, probably at one point people didn't about it, Lisa Ray, Lena Waithe, like Tyler Perry in his own right. You know what I mean? Done their own thing,
Right.
and there's always a market for it. There's always an audience. You just gotta find them, or they'll find you.
Exactly. Because I have people that I've created with or met from social media that I never thought I'd be cool with or be friends with, and
Mm-hmm.
it you can use it as a tool or you can use it in a way that's not a tool. But either way, Instagram and social media is very powerful.
Reaching the
It connects
masses, like
dots, it connects people. For real,
right,
for real. I think when
right.
when Reels first came out, I was so shocked at how fast and how many views certain things got. And like when TikTok first came out during the pandemic, I'm like, oh my gosh, like it was just crazy. And then
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
connecting people from all over the world.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I do sit back and think about like my younger self when I'm like, okay, imagine we grew up with like social media, whatever. I know that I would have been something just because, like, whatever, but you get over it, you get real rigid, and you're like, but just do it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
So
easier said than done, but you're right.
yeah, it is. So who do you feel like is your audience on social? Because I know you have Black in Hollywood, Atika Greene, and you may have Tiki Bar. So who
Yes.
how do you reach your audience? How have you really built your following? You are really well known.
Um, it started with just who may have been interested, for about the acting life, or like, behind the scenes. And then I wanted to create something else outside of me, something that I've been trying to figure out how to build for a long time. I think about a month ago, I kind of really figured out how to go about it. I put stuff, I'll see how it would work, and I feel like people would just probably show love of GP because, but I feel like now that I have a little bit more of a direction where I want to go with, like myself reaching people that I wouldn't have thought I would reach, or like, new fans that want to, kind of tap into my world. So I am still building that daily, but age is more so about like the transparency and vulnerability of like being an artist, being in Hollywood, but being a Black artist, specifically. And I'm really, really trying to cater to like, either being a transplant in Los Angeles or not being a transplant, just being a creative. You decide to make the Hollywood to have a space to kind of come to and say, oh, this is where they are. Slow build, but I think kind of focusing on how I really want it to be is going to help it grow. I'm not really focused on numbers, and that kind of helps. I'm just kind of putting it out there.
Right, that's a big one.
5 likes, that's whatever. That's the 5 people that's supposed to see it, kind of thing. Tika Tiki Bar, another portion of me. I'm a bartender. I really don't enjoy working in restaurants. I enjoy doing a lot of private events and stuff like that. But I would work for other companies, and I was like, well, if they're whatever amount of hour, like maybe I could get those contracts myself and get, the hour for everything else. So that's been like also trial and error. Like I've done some events for people, sold them some of my drinks, like just to have at their parties and stuff like that. Yeah, so
that's really nice.
that. It's just been based on word of mouth. I've done a couple of pop-up shops here in LA. Sold my adult Capri Suns there, and people were like, "Oh,
that's what's up."
Build another business outside of that. Yeah,
that's amazing. I really respect that, because you got to hustle if you wanna make it. Really, it's constant, nonstop, 24/7. And I watched you grow your both channels, all 3 of them actually. So that's pretty neat. That's pretty dope.
yeah.
So my next question for you, Miss, is how would you say you can build self-worth and eliminate the thoughts of, let's say, seeking that validation? How have you worked on that? Like, how have you put in, like, are you in therapy? Like, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so I think that like the mental health, that is a daily work. I think that, our adolescent years, which are very important of like our growth and our mindset and thoughts of ourselves, like hearing whether it's family, whether it's the outside world, and that has kind of like constructed who we think we are, who I think I am is, and whatever that amount of time it took to get there, it's gonna take that amount of space. That isn't a thing, but I think that within some of those tools, like whether it's therapy, which is something that I am actually looking into to start taking seriously this year. I've been feeling it. I do have a session coming up on the 29th of this month, so that will be like this. So I'm excited to, like, hopefully continue that relationship and, change with her and see what that's like, working through some of those things. But I definitely think it's like things that has to be worked on, just like those, ideas about yourself have been built through. It's not going to happen overnight. And I think also like this woman Elle, she has a book coming out. It's called How We Heal. And she always talks about how healing is not. So you might think you heal from one thing, and then something else comes up, and I got to heal again through this. But I think that making it a priority, or just being a little older now, it's kind of like I know the importance of working through it. I know I'm not there, but I see it coming up in different parts of my life that it's like it hurts some of this stuff, but it's like, okay, well, now at least I'm noticing it. Okay, how can I try first step for me in that? And then also remembering those tools that I do have to, like, even if I don't want to get out of bed today, just go for a walk, or even if I don't want, maybe writing in something to try. So yeah, it's every
Right.
day.
I think, I think self feeling worthy is feeling like you are deserving of that self care that you're giving to yourself each and every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's building, like eliminating the need for validation is pouring into yourself,
Yeah.
and to continue to build your self-worth is to kind of practice like I those affirmations, that meditation, that wellness, that mental health, that therapy session, whatever you need, using your resource, your tools,
Yeah.
because we have a lot of tools in ourselves.
True. Very, very
If you
true.
can
Very
breathe,
true. And
you can meditate, you know.
that's right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right about that. And I think it's remembered inside of us. And sometimes it like I could be completely transparent. Overall, for me, I just been feeling very, very much down. And then I was like, oh, I gotta get on this. And I appreciate you just being very open and just having these type of conversations, because some of this too, having that talk and like not having the
Yeah.
conversation in your head. I was just talking to my back, just talking about it, because sometimes it's just chatter back and forth,
Inside.
and like anywhere, Um, but absolutely, absolutely, it's inside of us, and it's a
No, definitely.
it's a challenge in itself, but it's worth it for sure.
No, it definitely is worth it. What was now, to get back to the acting real quick, trying to
Yeah.
switch gears. What was your favorite project you worked on and why?
Um, Actually, when I was in New York, I had worked on this play. It is a bowl of chili scoring mine. It's like this play about this immigrant woman to the States for this man, and a lot of things going on. But it was just I got to play like a Jamaican. Well, I'm not Jamaican. I play Jamaican. I got to like tap into some comedy. It was a leading role. It was like one of my first leading roles. It was
Nice.
fun, and I feel like people really enjoyed it. So it just made me feel like, okay, you can do that type of thing, whether I had the opportunity or not. But that always stands in my head, because family came, like a lot of people showed love to the play, and it was something that kept running because people really enjoyed it, and I was, the
That's
originator
dope.
of the role, so it was really fun.
That's dope. I love it. Oh my gosh. So would you say you like television or plays more? Or you like it all? If you were
I
on a
love it
desert
all.
island, but if you were on a desert island, you had to pick one thing to do. What would it be? Forever.
Well, I guess that's funny. That's a good question. I guess with the desert island part, because let's just be clear, the money is in TV, okay? But I'm
Yes.
thinking like, you know, I got my hut, I got the whatever, we good. So I'm gonna be doing theater for the island, and then I'm living my happy life.
Period. That's what I'm saying. Cause like honestly, I just need some water, some
Yeah,
sand, and I could just one woman it out. Like,
that,
what's up?
that's it. That's it. Okay, everybody gonna love you. You're gonna be the star of
Right. Right.
the
No, that I would agree on that one. Yeah, I'm picking that because ain't no way to plug in no TV really.
right. So nobody gonna watch you there, and it don't matter. Everybody. So we're gonna just entertain our
Right.
crew right here.
At Atika's Tiki Bar, we're gonna be wild.
Okay, that's fine. Come get your drinks and some. I like that. Dude,
That's cute.
I've been thinking about moving to Mexico. So
Oh
need to
my
get out of
god.
this American culture, child. My dog can't visit this child.
Oh, so sweet. What's it like being a dog mom?
It's a lot. I guess it's like
It's like
the
having a child.
responsibility of having a child, but still, yeah, exactly. But actually, I had, kind of like it was my emotional support kind of dog, and
Oh, really?
it's been good. Like, he's always showing love, so it's good. And my dog is pretty chill. This is
That's
my
really,
first dog ever, but
yeah.
a chill dog. Like, and I didn't really know anything about dogs like that until like when my roommate was a little more hyper, and I was like, oh, okay, like that's what that looks like, you know. But my dog is like me, like he's hella chill. He probably won't go for a walk in a minute.
Oh, so cute, so cute. So, what would be something that somebody doesn't know about you, like that you could share? This is an exclusive. An exclusive. Do you like? Do you like? Okay, I'll narrow it down because that was really broad. What is a food that you absolutely dislike?
Dislike. I'm pretty open, but I'm not a fan of like radishes and olives.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not
I'm
a food;
fine.
it's like the little ingredients, but I don't think nobody. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, we could do without that. Like, I don't know why that was even
Right.
made.
Heck no. It used to be tomatoes when I was little, but I like tomatoes now.
I love tomatoes. Oh my gosh, that's like
Yeah,
the best fruit that tastes like a vegetable.
the best, but it's all right. I can eat it on a sandwich now. I wouldn't eat it by itself. I'm not eating it like an apple.
Yeah, you're not eating it by itself. Yeah, I
No.
pretty much can eat onions by themselves, anything by themselves. Like, I will just
Oh
cook and
wow.
eat it. Like,
Come on now.
I would just cook and eat onions and all the veggies. Like, I'm a veggie monster.
That's good though. It's healthy. That's good.
Hmm. So, where's your favorite place to eat in LA? What's the hottest spots? Zoom me in.
Mm, the food out here is not like coming from New York. I'm very
Ooh,
specific
child.
because you know food in New York is so good. But
So, do you
actually,
cook mostly,
my
or?
roommate. Well, I was gonna say my roommate is like a chef, so he be cooking, and so I be eating.
Ooh,
He cooking good food.
okay. Good, good. I bet. Any chef, period. Okay.
So, you know, his thing is he'll be like, if I could make it at home, then I might just make it at home instead of buy good, you know.
Yeah, because if you're saying
But there's
that the food out there is not that great, then
a
I
like
would be
it's
blessed.
subpar, like coming from it's subpar. But if I had to choose, there's this Bossa Nova. It's like Mediterranean
Ooh, I love Mediterranean
food.
food.
It's pretty good. It's I went to out here, and I go back frequently. Like I like it.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. Now, the question of the day, because we talked about self doubt as a theme of this month,
Yeah.
because a lot of people are experiencing that in this season for whatever reason. Um, what has it taught you about creating, just in general? Like for me, self doubt has taught me that I'm a bad mama jamma if I just let that go. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm,
It's taught me that I can exceed my own expectations if I just try. What would you say for you?
mm, that's a good one. I think that the biggest thing is that it's not. It's
I think
sorry.
she's
Somebody try to
back.
call.
Oh yeah,
um,
they always do that.
I would say like the biggest thing, kind of like what we just talked about, is it's not serving. Like you know, so I think that um, learning how much it has taken over a lot of parts of my life, and
Right,
even so
that's a
much
good
within.
perspective.
Right, it's taken over so much that I didn't even maybe realize until I realized, and I was like, oh, well, that's I haven't been doing X, Y, Z because of self doubt, or I've been allowing, you know, people to treat me this kind of way because of self doubt, you know. So I think that the fact that it isn't serving me,
Ooh,
and um, coming closer to my birthday, I'm just trying to really learn how to focus on myself and like focus on, you know, not seeking that validation, you know, even when the self doubt creeps in. All right, but you've seen it so many times where people who, you know, by popular or unpopular opinion, may not even be that talented or may not even have all the skills, and they just out here, no doubt, put it out there, and they're doing great, and that's amazing. You know what I mean? And
right.
I wish I could be that person. You know, I'm so in my head about it, but I think that that's a part of it too, like realizing it, and now like, okay, how do I
Yeah,
push? Yeah.
I just didn't realize how much of a chokehold it had me in, like at a certain point, certain points in my life. Because right now it's so prevalent,
Mm.
and it's probably what's allowed, not even allowed, but I've had failures, and I've been like, okay, so yeah, I might have a failure, but that don't mean that I'm failing. Like it's
Mm.
really a mindset and how you talk to yourself, and I think having positive self talk. Um, is super important. Like,
It is.
because I don't think we realize that our subconscious is so powerful in what we consume and just our upbringing and our trauma, how we
Yeah.
can, so I'm just really working on just overcoming the self-doubt season, and
Mhm.
I just remaining prayerful, so
Absolutely. And I mean, like having grace on ourselves because we are in this society where everything
yeah,
is like, I mean, we have social media, which is like a crazy thing to believe. Like, we can really see what everybody in the world is doing by just a click of a button.
yeah,
And that's a little crazy. You know what I mean? Like, we are so like stimulated all the time by, whatever's going on. And sometimes I just have to like just be like, oh, let me just get off social media for a hot second because it's just
yeah,
overstimulating. And, at the end of the day, and filters and edits and all that stuff is real. I don't know what's really going on in anybody's mindset in their life, but I can't allow it to like take over my own. So I do
right,
take
right.
that sometimes too from that.
No, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Because so I definitely I took a social media break for a hot minute, and I just remembered feeling like it was so needed.
Mm.
Just the idea of being in the moment with the people that you're around, and like really putting your phone down, because like what are you checking when you're like what are we what is what are we checking,
True. True.
24/7, because I find myself just grabbing my phone for nothing.
Just cause it's like it's an addiction, honestly.
Yeah, and the way they set up these algorithms, and the way you even use the application, like the
Yeah.
scrolling of the finger, and then like you just see multiple things, you could just keep scrolling, you have all these settings and things of that nature. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Whoa. It's true.
Yeah, you can spend hours on it.
And you
There's
don't
not
even
there's
realize
like
because
store page, a home page. Yeah.
that that's why they named the app TikTok. Time going by. TikTok. 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 Right. Okay. Exactly. Exactly.
That's crazy. That's
Exactly.
crazy, girl. That's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I found that I was like, oh, it makes so much sense because 2 hours later, I'm
They
still
just want to
here.
waste our
How?
time, y'all. Right.
Truly. Truly. But that's kind of going,
Time.
how you say you were doing
TikTok.
influence and stuff like that, kind of geared me to that mindset of like, okay, well, if I'm on this all the time, I might as well be monetizing some kind of way. I might as well be making some kind of living or some kind
Yeah.
of from it. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. It's just so much that I feel like we can be doing as a collective, like in our own lives, like just by ourselves. Like there's so much we can be doing, and then there's so much we can be doing with others,
Mm-hmm.
and then like there's just so much to do, and there's not enough time in the day. But I just try to take on projects one thing at a time, and try to get it done and execute. Because
Absolutely.
I yeah, really.
I got you.
Yeah. So you were saying earlier that you're no longer you're sober. You're taking a break from, what are you taking a break from?
So it's been
Social
it's
media.
been Sobertober, so the month of October I haven't had any liquor or any
Nice.
THC products. So just sober completely, and I'm actually gonna do a YouTube video about it, just like my reflections.
Ooh, please.
Time. But
I'm tuning in.
yeah, it's been very reflective to say the least. It's been very reflective.
Do you feel like it's what just to give the people a snippet, because we're
Yeah,
gonna make sure we tag you when you post that.
yeah.
But what made you say, all right, I need this sober tober?
I think it was more so from like the pandemic. Like during the pandemic, I spent a lot of time overindulging, which I know a lot of people had did during that time. It was just very uncertain times, and my friends and I, I had like maybe 5 people I was with almost every day of the pandemic. We would play games, we would have game night, have drinks, and whatever, whatever. But I feel like I was just overindulging so much, and I couldn't remember the last time that I actually just took a break, for whatever reason. And then I was getting reflective on just like who I was becoming in certain spaces when I would be overly intoxicated. And I think that kind of goes back to what we were talking about, like a certain doubt and worthiness and certain things would come up that maybe they've been pushed to the back of my mind. When I'm sober mind, I could be whatever, but then I'm drunk and it goes out the window. And now I'm in spaces or talking to people that I shouldn't be, or, reaching out to people that I shouldn't be, or just not even honoring the things that I know that I should for myself. Um, and I think that was just eye opening for me, just like who I become under the influence. So I wanted to kind of like take back control of that person. And it's been more difficult than I thought it would be. Like now I'm on day 25, so it takes like 21 days to break a bad habit. So it's not as bad as it was. But in the beginning, I was starting to feel like, do I need AA or something? Or do I need, you know what I mean? Because sometimes sometimes I may feel like I'm going to these things for whatever reason. Oh, I had a bad day. Let me get some wine. Oh, this pissed me off. Let me da da da. You know what I mean? Versus like, what are the other things that I can do to like get past this? So I'm still figuring that out, but taking this break has been very eye opening in that way.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because I know there's many people out there, whether they're trying to be sober or you're helping somebody. I feel like, you know, I even reflect on myself in that space, thinking about how often I've been smoking lately. And it's funny you bring that up because, well, actually, that question you said that because I noticed that I've been smoking a lot more, because there's just so much idle time not having a job. So what I'm trying to do is getting into these apps again, like getting back on, whether it be a rideshare app or something to kind of give me something to do until I find land that job. Noticed that I was, smoking a lot, and I'm like, all right, is it because I'm just bored, or because I'm hiding from something, or because like what is it? So I told myself, I was like, once I start my job, I'm gonna limit it to certain parts of the day, and so I can focus on my day, because I think we kind of at times has clouded just my thought process. Not
Yeah,
necessarily makes me out of control or anything, but it, I feel delayed a little, or more relaxed, a little less alert. So I notice
understood.
those things, and I'm just trying to, yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can, not do it as much,
I understand, girl.
because
I get it.
I don't want it to take over. You feel me?
Right, exactly, exactly. And like I try to well, what I'm gonna try to implement, my birthday's coming up, I'm gonna have fun. But I was
Period.
just trying to
Period.
right.
As you
But
should.
implement just like as it is a reward. So like, trying to change to a reward system of like, okay, well, I was able to do XYZ today, like I said I would. So yeah, let me enjoy this because I did get here versus like I know how I was before when I would do it and then would I do the thing? Maybe, but maybe not. You know what I mean? And just seeing it. I get what you're
Right. Right. No, for sure. So now, just one other question. I know this probably will take most of our time. Wow, the sky is just really skying today. That's why I keep looking up. It's so beautiful out here.
saying. Come on now, that's
Um,
good.
yeah, it's nice. So what was like a turning point for you in life? Because I know we all have turning points, like pivots, where we kind of like change, or we. Because I know you had talked about acting, pivoting with acting, now pivoting with the alcohol and things of that nature. But is there any other like moment you can share that was like a wake up call, that was like either fight or flight? Have you ever experienced anything like that? Whether
Um,
whether living in LA or like, I don't know. It's kind of a broad question, but if I can
yeah.
narrow it down, just like trying to figure out, like, have you? Okay, let's take it here then. Have you ever? Where's your spirituality lie? Like, where do you fit in really with that?
I would say that I'm more of a spiritual person versus like Christian or any religion in particular.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, so definitely like more on a spiritual path. Definitely connect to God in my own way. Meditate, I do pray, things like that. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was there ever like a turning point where you were like, yeah, like I need God in my life, like a come to Jesus
Um,
moment?
no, I got you. I think that I know that, God is always with me and God is always here. I think that last year, I was robbed last year. Um, and that was very like traumatic in the sense that, it made me kind of really just appreciate life in a different way. Um, and yeah, I think that I could say that's really like one of those moments where I was like, wow, you sometimes feel like you're invincible or like that won't happen to me type of thing. And then it happens and you're like, whoa. So I want to say like comes to Jesus moment, but definitely like a moment to tap more into my spirituality, tap more into like,
Right.
family and love and stuff like that. Um, and just kind of quality of life, like remembering just the importance of living and really, really honoring that quality time with the people that we love. I think that was heavy on my heart at the time.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm also sorry you went through that because I've been through similar. I was robbed last year during the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
And I was really quiet about it. I didn't really talk too much about it, but because you opened up, I felt the need to share. It's something that when somebody robs you, it's like they're taking something away from you that you can't get back, whatever it is for you. So I understand that can be really, really hard. And kind of worrying about your safety, because that was for me what I constantly worry about is like, am I safe right now? And I have to constantly tell myself, I am not in danger, I am okay, because every time I walk out that house, it's like, all right, should I just stay home today? Like, it's
Hmm.
like I'd rather just be home in my comfort, not have to deal with people. And like,
Yeah.
I noticed that I was becoming afraid of like certain types of people because I thought maybe that, I didn't know what was going on. I had to kind of like deep process, unpack, and try to figure out how I could move on.
I
So that was a
understand.
turning point for my life as well. That was like a monumental milestone in my life. That was like either I'm gonna fly or I'm gonna sink.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
That was
Yeah, because I mean,
that was
it
crazy. So
happens, and you're like, I think it's kind of like that thing, like you really don't expect. I mean, you hear about those things happening, but it doesn't. And then
mhm.
you're like, and it happens to you, and or someone you know and you love and care about. It's like, whoa,
Right.
it does shake you up a
Yeah.
lot, shake you up a lot. I was also it made me think about what you just said. I was also in a pretty bad car accident in 2017.
Mhm.
So I would feel like those two things were like, life moments where it's kind of like, life is short. We know this, but like when things like that happen, it's like, whoa, life really is short. It's just my experience and kind of even talking about it right now is like remembering that we got to just do it, whatever it is, because
Yeah. Yeah.
you just never know for real.
Absolutely. Yeah. You just never know.
Yeah.
These birds are sounding like monkeys out here. These squirrels. They
They
over
talking
here.
to you, girl.
They talking to me. But yeah, I really, Atika, I really appreciate your transparency. You're somebody that I look up to and admire as somebody that is in my circle of friends. You're very inspiring, and I don't know exactly all that's going on with you right now in this season, but I pray that this season and then this season will this too shall pass. And whatever is next for you, it's going to be a winning season for sure because you deserve it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, girl. And I'm gonna let this interview commence. But oh, you're so sweet. But you're amazing, and just we talked about a lot of powerful things today, and I just want that to sit on your heart, and it's gonna sit on my heart because we I didn't know what to expect today. I'm just glad we were able to have this dialogue and talk about some healing and things like that.
Thank you. Me too. I appreciate you for having me and keep on doing this, please.
Yes, please like, subscribe, and share, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you, Tika.
Love you too, boo. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Take care.